delayed.
There you go.
Good morning, everyone. This is a special meeting of the Maui Police Commission. It's October 23rd, 2024, and the time is 10 a.m. I'm Frank Tam, Vice Chair of the Commission, and I call this meeting to order. We're going to do a roll call. Chair Moniz is excused. Commissioner Iwohi?
Here.
Commissioner DeRego?
Present.
Commissioner Kuwahara?
Present.
Commissioner Mawat?
Present.
Commissioner Richardson?
Present.
Commissioner Tenkayo?
Here.
The Vice Chair is present. We have 7 present, 1 excused. The Chair determines there's a quorum for this meeting. I'd also like to acknowledge as present our Commission Secretary Tisha Flores and Deputy Corporation Counsel Andrew Nelson. Moving on to item 3, public testimony. Tish, do we have any written testimony?
No written.
Anybody signed up for any oral testimony?
No one signed up.
Okay, seeing that we have no one here to testify, public testimony is closed. Moving on to the chief's report.
Right now it's the deputy chief's report. So yeah.
Deputy chief's report. Deputy Chief Maeda. You want to begin?
Good morning, Vice Chair. Good morning, Vice Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to do the introduction of highlights. We're going to first start off with Assistant Chief Reed Percy. He's going to give a highlight of a murder investigation, followed by the traffic stats. I will give the current general expenditure funds for MPD. Assistant Chief Greg Okomoro will give the police applicant status as well as the ESD applicant status. He will also give the current recruit class status of that, and I will close out with the crime data. So right now, I'll give the floor to Assistant Chief Percy.
Point of order, Vice Chair. Just to remind everyone, I think on your agenda, there was a typographical error. It said it was going to be the August report, 2024, but you're doing the September report, correct?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
So just to have that correction on the record.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Vice Chair, Commissioners. So just wanted to highlight September 16th, was just at 12:01 a.m. Wailuku Patrol officers responded to the intersection of Honoapi'ilani Highway and East Waiko Road in Waikapu. Initially, it was called in as a single motor vehicle accident. Upon arrival, officers found the driver, which is a 42-year-old male, had sustained a gunshot wound. Apparently, it caused him to lose control of the vehicle and crash. So upon our officers' arrival and emergency medical personnel, CPR was administered. The male was transported to Maui Memorial, where he later succumbed to his injuries. This investigation is continuing, is still ongoing. It revealed the male had been shot right in the area of Maui Tropical Plantation as he was headed towards Wailuku direction. Again, at this point, the investigation is still ongoing. Evidence that we recovered from the scene is still being processed with the assistance of the FBI. So it's going to take a little while to get that back, but we're still working on that case. And then Assistant Chief Kilo Tom is in training, so I'm going to cover his traffic section. So there was a fatality September 5th. This was Thursday night about 7:23 p.m. A motor vehicle collision occurred on Keala Place, just east of the intersection with South Kihei Road in Kihei. Preliminary investigation revealed that a pedestrian identified as a 64-year-old female, Irene Caulfield, was on the sidewalk when an unknown vehicle executed a right-hand turn out of the Foodland parking lot. It drove down the sidewalk and collided and ran her over. The vehicle fled the scene northbound on South Kihei Road without stopping to render aid or give any information. The medics transported Ms. Caulfield to the Maui Memorial Medical Center for her critical life-threatening condition, and she later succumbed to her injuries. The following day, follow-ups are conducted by the traffic divisions of Vehicular Homicide Unit, revealed the suspect vehicle was found on surveillance cameras as well as license plate reader cameras. And the vehicle is identified as a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee being operated by 61-year-old Kihei resident Keith Tanitomi. So that's that very next day on Friday, September the 6th, about 5:08 p.m. Keith Tanitomi was located by our vehicular homicide unit. He was placed under arrest for negligent homicide in the first degree, collisions involving death, reckless driving, OUI, and driving and operating a vehicle while your license was suspended for OUI. He was also placed under arrest for 4 outstanding warrants. In September, the traffic division conducted 4 sobriety checkpoints. It conducted 10 saturation patrols. The division made 29 OUI arrests, as well as 18 other arrests. In addition, the division also issued 697 citations and gave 47 written warnings for various traffic violations and infractions during the month. As for the month of September, the county is at 11 fatalities compared to 14 at the same time last year. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Going with the current general expenditure fund. If you look at the end column on the salaries, I want you to look at overall. Our projected is 989,000 in salaries. Right now, we still have a balance of 49,550,000. So we're in really good shape. We're projected is because we're already 3 months into the new fiscal year. So we're actually doing really well with salary wise. The only one that, of course, is going to dip is the uniform because of the shortage in patrol. So we do have the callbacks and we have to pay them the overtime. And because of increased salaries, you'll show the bigger deficit over there. But overall, we're really well off on our salary projections. So we're doing pretty well with that. Any questions?
Commissioner Richardson, did you guys ever get back the federal help?
FEMA?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, so we got some reimbursements. Some of them we're still waiting on, but we got the majority of our reimbursements back for the overtime for FEMA. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. This is Chief Okamoto.
Welcome back.
Hey, thank you very much. Good to see everybody here. Everybody's upright. I'll go over where we're at as far as the applications. For as of October 14th, for the police applicants, total in the process, we have 58. They're in various stages. 10 in the PHQ, 3 preliminary background checks, 18 need to take their physical fitness tests, 10 are in background, 1 polygraph, 4 the psychological assessment, 7 need to take the physical exam, and 5 are ready to hire. So of that 5, 4 are actually going to be starting on November 1st. As far as the ESDs, we have 2 applicants in the personal history statement stage, 4 in the background phase, and 6 are scheduled to be hired on November 1st, with 2 more to be hired on November 18th and 2 more pending their start dates. So as of November, we look to start training all these hires. So, the current status of our police recruit class. Our 96 recruit class currently has 6 members. They started in May of 2024. And our 97 recruit class currently has 10 members, and they are scheduled to start on November 18th. Of those 10, 6 are currently working in receiving desk as early hires, and 3 are in the plans and training section, and 1 is helping with the dispatch. So, and that's it. You got any questions about the hires?
Yeah, Chief, I
Yeah.
thought I saw with the 97 that there were like 14 or 16.
Yeah.
in there.
So we actually have have 16 that are going to start.
19.
So they're up to 19 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought no 16 and the 3 going to roll over to 97.
No. So we're doing, sorry, just to clarify, we have 18 new hires and 1 lateral transfer, so 19 total. We've capped it off at 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stand corrected. So,
It's a nice number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice number.
Yeah, we haven't had 20 in a long time, so it's kind of nice. So yeah.
I just wanted to say congratulations on the dispatchers. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had that one stop last month, so a lot of these hires are as a result of the one stop. But yeah, they need the help. So yeah.
It's a great job.
One thing with the recruitment center, how's that going?
We still haven't opened the doors to recruitment center, but it's more about just getting it all set up as far as like the infrastructure and stuff like that. But we're hoping to get in this soon because I think it'll be a great tool for us.
Any projected date at all?
I don't know any updates. I've been out.
We're trying to project to get it done by December. We have the furniture in and stuff. We just need ITSD to come down and help hardwire so we can start having them do the practice tests and online recruiting and stuff like that. So there's still some things to work out, but for the majority of the infrastructure is in and ready to go.
Great. Thank you, Chief.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Two questions.
Yes.
One, what's your thought on the quality of the recruits you're getting? I'm asking that just.
I mean,
what's your thoughts? Are you getting quality people?
As far as
or-
my thoughts, I believe everyone we hire
Yeah.
to the best of ability,
Yeah.
they're all quality hires. But then we won't know until after they
Right.
graduate, after they pass FTO, after they do their first year of probation. And we track that data too. So actually, I mean, in the end, we can share that too, just to see how many people get hired and how many people make it at the end too. So yeah.
Thank you. The second question is, a couple months ago, you guys talked about the first lateral you had. How's he doing?
I've been out, so.
He's doing fine. He's working in District 1, Wailuku Patrol. He's flourishing. He's doing really well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else, commissioners, questions? No? Okay, thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you guys.
So, okay, go ahead, Chief.
All right, I'm just going to close out with the crime data. And then Commissioner Richardson to address that one point about the quality of the recruits. So there was talk that we had dropped standards to get more applicants, and that's not the case. The standards haven't dropped at all. We haven't dropped any of the standards, but what we've done is increase the aggressiveness of the recruitment. So that's why we're seeing the numbers going up. But the standards haven't changed for the past 15, 20 years. Yeah.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. I had no question on the standards dropping. I just kind of wanted to
Okay.
get an opinion of the quality, because even in my profession, we're hiring and, whatever, everything we're going through, quality has kind of went down when you're looking at recruits in any profession. So it was just a question to find out what you guys think.
Chair. So would you say you're better at removing the obstacles that kept qualified recruits from making it through in the first place?
So I think it was a combination of things. One of the slowdowns was our own process. We streamlined that process to help move along the recruits a lot faster, working better with DPS to push the recruitment through, and then also having a more condensed recruit class and taking out some of the classes that weren't necessary and kind of getting them on the road so they can get real road time, which is a key factor as well.
So I just want to say, just to make a comment instead of a question, I think you guys have done a great job of working on the process, and I think you're reaping the fruits of that now.
Yeah, we've made mistakes over the years, and I think one of the things that we want to be transparent about is that even though we make mistakes, that we want to let you guys know that we're constantly evolving the process to make it better. Even if you talk about other areas like discipline and training and stuff like that. So we're always trying to evolve and get better. We'll continue to make mistakes. We're MPD, but we'll move along and get past that, and we'll build upon it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Okay.
Any other commissions have a question? Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to talk about the crime data or?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, you led us down that path, by the way.
Sorry. Okay, so to close the crime data, one of the good stats is if you look at the total overall violent crime, it's down 6%, which is huge. A lot of that is hard to control, especially with abuses. You can't control domestic partners getting into violence against each other, but we've actually curbed that. If you look, our overall crime is up 3%, but if you look at why, our DUIs are up and our narcotic offenses are up, meaning our officers are generating more cases, making more arrests, and that's why it reflects an actual increase, well, which is kind of not what it really reflects the crime is, right? So
Yep.
yeah, so OUIs are up, drugs are up, but drug cases, arrests are also up as well. If you look at the left column with arrests, we've done pretty good in that area. And then you can see at the bottom, our calls for service are down 77,539 versus last year, which was already 113,000. And yeah, so yeah, so dispatch is still busy though. Yeah. Any questions on the crime data?
Commissioner Richardson. I think every time you guys present the crime data, it's very thorough. And I guess one of my questions is, because I continue to experience that in our community in Kihei, and with that vehicle accident, the hit and run, we're getting more and more homeless, right? Like anywhere on the island. And these people are walking on the streets. I've seen it. They just had an accident this weekend in Kihei where I think it was a fatality, which probably you guys will report next month.
Yes.
And what is the department experiencing? What are you guys conversing about how we're handling the homeless? Because it's a community. It's not just someone lingering on the road. They actually have communities within the community. And I think a lot of these things that were the hit and runs is for the fact that they think we got to watch for them when they're walking on the road and they're just crossing and there's no crosswalk. What are you guys experiencing? So
yeah, so we do. We've had a number of fatals of houseless or unsheltered people crossing the streets and getting hit. That we can't control. It's just one of those things. But regarding the overall homeless program, the police department is in a real sticky situation because being homeless is not a crime in itself. So when we respond, we try to get Department of Human Concerns as well as Department of Housing to try to get these guys help, as well as our core unit. They're out there weekly to offer services to these people. And we do enforce crimes. However, it's difficult because when we do arrest these people, they're not held very long. And then they're back on the street, back at doing whatever they're doing again. So there is we have to work on that process and get it better. But we are in talks with the county in getting these people sheltered and getting them off the street so they can have and then try to build their life back up together. So there is a plan in place for that, but it is a difficult and long road, and they do have rights as well.
yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I was going to say, but I think some of the problem is also our lighting, because we changed all of our lighting, which really sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate driving in Kihei nighttime because people do cross the street all the time and you can't see them with the lighting, you know. We got to save the birds and the turtles and the heck with the people,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
No, appreciate that, Debbie.
No. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
I hate it. Anywhere around.
Any other questions for the chief? No? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna take testimony for the chief's report. Anyone who has not testified on this item that would like to testify. Okay, hearing none, public testimony on this item is closed. Mahalo, Chief, again to you and your team.
Thank you.
We'll move on to agenda item number 5, the investigative position for the police commission. So what we have so far is our commission secretary forwarded an updated job description to DPS and Jennifer Almeida at MPD. According to Jennifer, the next steps are working with management to write the proposal for the reorganization, which will then be forwarded to the union. Once the union approves, it will be sent to DPS for approval, and no exact time frame is given. Any discussions?
Can we get a time frame? Chair, I'm recognized Commissioner Durego.
Yeah.
Can we get a time?
Would you be able
Timeline?
to, Chief?
So.
I just want to know where the bottlenecks are and what the,
Chief,
what the process.
We can't give you a timeline. But like I said, that's like the vice chair kind of explained. You know, we got to wait for the union to approve, and then goes back to DPS, and then DPS will have to finalize everything. So
So is it with the union now? Excuse me, Chair, Vice Chair.
I believe so. 'Cause,
Okay.
we got everything, like you said, we got sent to Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
So that was the next step, is a consultation. So,
Okay,
Well, I think it's still Agnes, right? No.
well, Agnes sent it back this week. So I got to check with Jennifer, but then the next step would be consultation. So
would we be able to get a, you know, when it gets forwarded to the union, can we be informed?
Yeah.
Just so we have an idea.
Yeah.
Of how long they're going to hold it, if nothing
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Is it a possibility this could happen by the end of the year?
Anything is possible. But-
you're so optimistic.
Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. So just wait for the email. Yeah. Anything else on this?
Any other
We
questions?
just needed it
No?
yesterday.
Okay,
that's
no,
all.
thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to item 6, evaluation of the chief of police. I'm sorry.
Wait, can I ask one more question, Chair, about this? Is there any way that the commission could help in terms of communicating their need at this point, or would that just throw a gum into the works? It's gonna take the time it's gonna take. Is that what we're
You can
hearing?
try. I can't speak for the union. So
So how do you think? Well, I guess I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
you to speculate on
Yeah.
how they would take to something like
Yeah.
that. But
so
yeah,
that's where it's at. So
that's where it's at. Okay.
So it's
Just wanted-
the local, the Maui
What's that?
Union reps, the Maui Union
yeah, no, it gets sent to the state.
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 Yeah, both. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you have okay.
Yeah.
In your experience, how long does something like this take? Months?
I can't answer. I can't
Okay.
answer that.
Okay.
Commissioner, what you could do is you guys could draft a letter to the mayor and cite the need, the immediate need for the investigative position. That might get it moving too, because we work with the Office of Management to get it on our to get that position moved on our org chart.
Okay.
That's one of the things that has to be critical before we even allow that position. It has to be moved onto our organizational chart.
Okay.
That's one of the key movements.
Okay.
Yeah, it does help though, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So,
Commissioner Richardson, I think we should add into that letter the union head
yeah.
to see
Okay.
that letter to the mayor.
Yeah. And copy.
I mean, it's the perfect time right now, right? In
Right.
November.
Okay. So thank you for that information. Actually, maybe we should have a discussion about that and maybe move to have a letter written to the mayor. So thank you. Thank you very much for that information. So can I make a motion that we
Yes.
write a letter to the mayor? I think we should consult with the deputy chief in terms of exactly what he thinks should be in that letter. Okay, from experience, and then we're going to have to assign somebody to do that. So can we get a volunteer? I'll volunteer. So we can get this moving. Okay, I'll volunteer to write the letter. I'll work with the deputy chief. And Were you going to say something? Okay, I'll work with the deputy chief and then we'll bring it back to the commission for its approval. So
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
the discussion, I guess, at this point. Yeah.
Still discussing.
Yeah. Well, no, it's,
Anybody else have anything?
they made a motion, that's seconded, and now any discussion, right? It looked like you wanted to say something. Okay.
Okay, so the motion was that we're going to assign someone, and Commissioner DeRego has volunteered to write a letter to the mayor CCing the union regarding the status of the investigator.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Seconded by Commissioner Kuwahara. We'll do a roll call vote to. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Just look at the top.
Again. Okay, let's, so Chair Moniz is excused. Commissioner Iwohi,
Yes.
Commissioner DeRego,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuwahara,
Aye.
Commissioner Moa,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner Tenkayo.
Aye.
Vice Chair also votes aye. Motion passes. Okay. So item number 6, evaluation of the chief of police. Commissioners, this is an update. Mr. Tyson Miyake and Kerry Kapoy continue to work on a draft of the policy and process for the evaluation of the chief of police. The first draft should be available on October 31st, 2024, which will be shared with the commission for its review for the schedule you received at the last meeting. Any questions or discussion?
Chair, I just to clarify, we're still in process, so nothing has really changed since the last time we reported, but we thought it was important to report back to the commission every meeting, so you know there's some movement going on this. And then once we get the report, I'm sure that the chair and I will be in touch with everyone and make sure everybody gets a copy of it to look at it and to review it before our next meeting, so we can move on with the policy and process. That's going to be both, because we'll be passing a policy on, which is going to be a more permanent thing, and then a process. So we're not going through this on a yearly thing, trying to revamp the evaluation. So they've been very helpful. We just want to see what their work product is and have you guys all weigh in. So thank you, Chair, Vice Chair. I keep promoting you.
Don't do that. Anyone else?
You're supposed to do it to her too.
We'll move on to item number 7, compensation for the chief of police. Keep forgetting, but before we begin, is there anyone who has not testified on this item that would like to testify? Sir?
Good afternoon. Good morning, commissioners. This is,
Sorry, Mr. Fine. Would you please state your name and what idea, please?
Larry Feinberg, just a citizen of Maui, representing myself and the people of Maui. This, talking about the compensation for the police chief, before the report of his evaluation has been submitted, is like putting the cart before the horse. I mean, you're going to talk about his compensation before you know how well he has been doing throughout the year, or the way the commission has been going, or the report has been going almost 2 years. I was waiting to hear your discussion before I testified, because I wanted to see what your thoughts were in relationship to giving him a raise, and in relationship to the percentage of money that he's looking at, or I have no idea. I don't know if it's 5%, 10%, 20%. The last year, they were talking crazy numbers. I don't think there's anyone in this room that, when they were working, got raises, not commensurate to their actual work, or as a guideline to giving a percentage of whatever they were making the year before. All of you have had jobs and have been reviewed. And what did you get? Even the union's only getting 5%, 10%, 15%. From the numbers that I heard last year, he was asking for much more. The other thing is that the amount of money that this chief gets is more than enough to live on Maui. It's more than each and every single one of us makes. Besides, he receives, from what I understand, $100,000, I don't know if it's a pension or something, from Las Vegas. So besides that as a base, added to the amount of money, which is a good amount of money. When I was on the commission, I even brought up that chief, the former chief would
You have
get-
30 seconds.
okay, would get more money because, it wasn't fair that he wasn't making as much money as people that were underneath him that were making overtime. Just, I would like to hear your thoughts. That's the end of my testimony.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions for testifier? No. Thank you, Mr. Fine.
That's all. I just wanted to get it into your, get it out there. It's something to think about. Because you all say, oh, he's doing a great job, we should give him all this money. I don't know. It's a lot of money. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, on July 10th, 2023, at a special meeting of the Police Commission on the compensation of the Chief of the Police, the Commission passed a motion to create a policy to review the compensation for the position of Chief of Police annually. The Commission Secretary will distribute to you and make available to the public at the sign-in table the letter sent to the Salary Commission on July 21st, 2023 on this subject. This will give you the needed background.
So would you guys want a chance to look over the letter from last time? Or I think most of us were here when this thing was actually passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we need, you take a 10-minute break so everybody can look it over.
Do people feel like they need the time?
Do you need the time? I'm good. Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
Okay, I'm good. Okay.
All right. Okay. Commissioner DeRego, he researched and composed a response to the Salary Commission, so he'll get us started on this discussion.
Okay. Just to remind people, I, as the testifier outlined, there's a misconception about the chief and the salary. Chief didn't ask for a raise. Okay. He was asked to make a presentation on his position to the Salary Commission. When he first got here, we actually asked for a postponement until he was more into the job. So the focus has always been more on the position as in comparison to other localities, municipalities, police departments of the same size. I don't think people realize this, but our police department is in the top 5% in terms of numbers. About 80 to 85% of police departments are 25 officers or under. Okay. We are one of 135 municipalities, right? And government areas that has an organization like this out of 18,000. Okay, so believe it or not, we are here to regulate one of the larger departments in the United States. Okay, those are facts from CELA. I guess that's the organization where we get our accreditation from, and also the Bureau of Justice. Okay, so I just want to put that on the record. Okay, when we were looking at this, and I was asked to make a presentation as well. Okay, but I told the Salary Commission that I could not, as an individual, as chair, make a presentation for the commission. We would have to discuss it. At the time, I always said I was only a herder of cats. Okay, I don't speak for the commission. Okay, I get people together, and it's you, us, that look at the issue and make decisions on it. Okay, and comes with a position. So what we have in this letter is, after the research we presented, we actually talked about this at a special meeting on July 10th. We spent the whole meeting talk about this. And then we finally came to an agreement of what should be in the letter that we sent to the commission. So there's this myth, which was also used at the last election, that somehow, some umbrage about the chief asking for a raise. That was never the case. And I want that on the record. Again, I think I've said this before. Okay, we're talking about, and if you notice in the letter, it's called the position of the chief of police. And if you look at the facts in here, based on the PERF report on compensation for chiefs of police, so it's that 30-page report that, I gave, well, it's actually more, it was about 60 pages that I gave to all of you. Okay, and some of the facts, I also looked at the cost of living. Okay, according to the feds, organizations, in terms of cost of living in Hawaii versus other areas. So this was all fact-based, looking at the position among other positions based on organization, locality, cost of living, everything else. But it was the position of the chief of police. Okay, not the chief asking for a raise. Okay, so now the commission has to decide, based on this, what do they want to go back and open up this issue with the salary commission, in terms of looking at because the chief's going to be gone and we're going to have to hire somebody else. Okay, and eventually, right? Okay, eventually. Sorry, not tomorrow. Okay, eventually, right? And we're going to be in competition for other areas. Hopefully, we begin again the process of hiring within. I've always said, from my vantage point, I would always prefer that. Okay, but we went ahead and hired somebody from the outside for various reasons. But at the same time, okay, we need to be competitive, right? With other people. They're having the same problem with directors throughout the county. This is not an issue solely with the police department. Getting qualified people as directors and deputy directors for our county services has been very, very difficult. Okay, so, and even the salary commission has admitted they need to find a systematic way of dealing with the salary raises and the salary base, right, for directors and deputy directors countywide. So, I've always talked about this whole issue, which is done in corporations and businesses. You want to talk about this for their high-level management, about compensation planning. Okay, so my suggestion has always been that, and I'm not trying to tell the salary commission what to do, but, there needs to be an approach that looks at the issue in terms of the long-term viability of the departments as a whole, and not get together just when you feel, okay, do they need a raise, right? There needs to be a more systematic approach, in my opinion, toward what's called compensation planning, especially for high-level management. So this is the reason why this came up. This is why we voted on this. Just a reminder, everybody, in fact, who's on this letter at the top of this is still here, except for Matt Mono, right? So I just wanted to just reiterate the thinking and why we approached this, and try to again dispel the myths surrounding this issue.
Commissioner Richardson, Chair. Here's one of your cats, Commissioner. I appreciate everything that you just said, because I remember coming on the board back then that this discussion was already on the table. And I have to thank Commissioner DeRego for all the research, because it wasn't the true fact. He wasn't asking for more money. We're looking at a position, apples to apples, exactly what Commissioner DeRego said, compared to other counties, cities that match up to Maui County. That's how top heads' salaries are set. That's how you set a budget. It's no different than anyone here. When you go, what are you bringing to the table? What's your worth, and what's within the budget? And it's also called retention. No one's going to want to work here if you're not apples to another police department. I know that for a fact. As a former chief, I'm not going to be working and get underpaid for the things that you face for the county, the city, or the state. So thank you, Commissioner DeRego, to make it clear to this county that the chief wasn't asking for more money. My opinion, he was hired low for what he does. He was. It's in the facts that Commissioner DeRego pointed out. He was hired at a lower salary than some of his people that worked for him. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. But he's doing the job. So I think what we're trying to do as a commission is, as a team, to make a decision that was right and fair for this position. And you pointed out good points about other heads of our county that's underpaid. So it wasn't just singled out as the police chief. We can go through all department heads and see if they're getting paid correctly. So thank you, Commissioner DeRego, to make it clear that all we're trying to do as a commission is make a decision that's fair for this position. And that's our job. And I have to lift it up to you, Frank, because you go and do these researches that puts the facts on the table, not hearsay that, oh, the chief wanted this, chief wanted that. We all want something, but you got to provide what you're worth. And so thanks, Commissioner DeRego, for doing that. And it is our job as a commission to make a decision. That's what we're here for, is to make decisions, critical decisions, to retain someone at his caliber and leading a team like that just gave us a report in his absence. All for it. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to say? So this letter was already sent to the Salary Commission.
Yeah, this was sent over a year ago.
Right.
But as I gathered, the Salary Commission hasn't met for a while, but I don't want to be quoted on that. But they meet intermittently, I gather. So
we know for sure that nothing was done as far as this goes. Correct.
yes, nothing was done.
Any suggestions moving forward?
I'd like to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Just sitting here, I would like to just echo what Mr. Richardson just said about the amount of work that you put forward, Mr. DeRego. And, just looking at and reflecting of all that we went through. And I think even the salary affected the candidates. So we've seen that part of it too, of how the position, although high, did not match the financial gain for the candidates. And I think we talked about it in several meetings that was part of it too. The ability to attract quality people. So just sitting here and reflecting and looking at this, we did go through a lot. You led us through, and I'm very confident in what we presented here. Thank you.
So Chair, I'm not quite sure, Vice Chair, I keep promoting you. Vice Chair, I'm not quite sure where we go from here. So I know this was put on the agenda. I did contact the commission secretary to make sure this letter got, distributed just to remind the commission. So I was a little surprised that the compensation thing actually was on the agenda. But I did make a mad dash to make sure we had this information. And then I did ask you if I could say a little bit about it, just to be open and transparent about what the process was for this. But I'm not quite sure what we're being asked by this besides reviewing this. If there's some action that we should take, maybe another reiteration of this to the Salary Commission. And maybe some sort of asking for some sort of response, or I'm not sure where we go for here with this issue. We've got our letter in the past. It's already over a year old. A lot of water has gone under the bridge. I don't think any department head has gotten a base salary increase during this period. Or it's been maybe helter-skelter. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on in the Salary Commission, so I don't want to make any assertions at this point. Maybe it's something we need to find out and get an idea of where they're at with this. But I'm a little unclear having this on the agenda where we go from here, because now we've done sort of an annual review. I think people have, so at least some have voiced their support for what is contained in here, even though it's a year old. So I'm at a loss for suggestions, and if the commission has any suggestions about that. Now we've had the discussion, we've done our annual review. Where do we go from here in terms of making the will of the commission known to whoever is dealing with this issue? So that's my question for the commission.
So as
You guys
far
want
as
to
you know,
discuss
the
that?
Salary Commission, they meet very regularly.
That's my impression. So I don't want to say anything, but that's my impression. And if it's incorrect, I wish somebody from that group would correct me on that. But I know they did shut down during the period of after the fire, during the emergency proclamation. And has that been lifted, by the way? Commissioner Maui, would you know? That has not been lifted. Okay. So I don't know if they're still on hiatus until that is lifted, but yeah.
Commissioner Richardson, Deputy Chair. I guess my input would be what we're doing with the mayor and the union for the other issue that we just talked about is why couldn't we send a letter from the commission on a follow-up? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. If Corp Counsel needs to, well, should be involved, obviously, to find out where we're going with this, because it seems like if we're not getting responses from the Salary Commission, why not? And, it's just going to be another year that we're going to continue to converse about this when, all fairness, you got a chief that's sitting here being underpaid, in my opinion. So do you have any opinion legally where we can send a letter to the mayor, the Department of, or the Salary Commission, whoever, even personnel, to show that this is what we're trying to do, and can we get some kind of response? I get it, what we're going through in Maui County because of the fires, but that can't be used as an excuse of moving forward. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, is moving forward on something that's been 1 year. And we're going on 2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years, because this came up 2 years ago.
Right.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I think as a support team for the chief, I think we need to send something to get some kind of response so we can understand, like Commissioner DeRigo said, hey, I'm kind of lost where we're at. Where are we at? And if we're lost, then somebody clear up the way for us so we understand where we're going with this, or it's going to continue to be on the agenda. And we're just going to continue to talk about it. And then what is the solution here? Thanks.
Deputy Corp Counsel Andrew Nelson. I see that it appears that Salary Commission has met 7 times so far this year.
Oh,
As recently as mid-September. And one potential action that the commission could consider taking would be to pass a motion authorizing chair or another person, another commissioner, to draft a letter reiterating the position of the commission that they support a potential increase in the chief's salary and retransmitting the July 2023 letter, which I think has all the supporting information that they would need to consider.
Vice Chair?
Go ahead.
So first of all, I want to put on the record, I apologize to the Salary Commission for not knowing. I should have just looked at the website, but not gone on hearsay. So apologies for that. I want it on the record. I'm truly sorry for any aspersions that may have been suggested by that. At the same time, we sent that letter and there was no response to it. So I don't know how this process works. When you send a recommendation you would feel that they would discuss it and then write back to the commission and respond to the letter, right? For whatever reason, in terms of how they're looking at salaries and, what they're weighing. And so so we can understand their process, right? But, so that's so I apologize, but then at the same time, we've gotten no response and there's no indication of any movement. So I think, Vice Chair, that the suggestion of the Deputy Corporation Counsel is well taken. And thank you for just looking that up for us. Again, since I'm intimately related to this, somebody's got to remind me everything I got to do it after this, considering the other letter and then this one. Tisha, I hope you're keeping a list for me. I'm willing to do so because it's going to be something that's akin to this. It's not going to be that difficult. We're just asking for a response and asking what their philosophy and process is for not just the chief, but maybe all department heads in terms of how they're approaching, compensation planning. I think that's a fair question from one commission to another, since we've been waiting for 2 years for a response on any of this. In fact, I testified twice before the Salary Commission, and I think the current chair, when she was vice chair, testified on her own before the Salary Commission, just uninvited. Usually, when you're chair, you get invited to but they haven't invited us for a while. This last response was an invitation to respond from the commission. Okay, so I don't know if I was clear about that, but I'm willing to write something up and then bring it back to the next meeting, since they're not. I would imagine this is not going to be on their agenda right away, and then have the commission approve it, and then we can send it out again. So that's. I would have no problems doing that.
Commissioner Richardson, I think he answered a question I had in mind that, why couldn't we even invite Salary Commission head chair here?
Yeah.
So we can get a better understanding. But I think Frank answered it. And again, thanks again, Frank, for what you do for the commission and for the Maui Police Department.
I think one of, for when we had the discussion, one of the major points was the fact that, the deputy and the chief were making less than the assistant chiefs, and the assistant chief's base salary. And then the gap just gets bigger because they keep getting raises and you don't, right? And so I think, we should reiterate that when we write the letter, because the longer they take, the bigger the gap gets.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you guys got any points like this, please send them through, because, sometimes sending the same thing like this with a date a year ago doesn't have the impact of sort of reiterating points like the gap, the pay gap. That's actually a good phrase, right? So if you could send that to me. But if anybody else has any suggestions of how to improve on this, perfectly willing to send this, but then create something brand new that hopefully gets the attention. And that idea of maybe inviting the chair in would be an excellent suggestion, I think, it's got to be a friendly conversation and not like we're interrogating anybody, but it's got to be a friendly conversation about, how all of this, takes place and what it means and what the philosophy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it would be an invitation just so we are educated on what the process is when the salary commission meets. And I'll share you some of what I sent my board of directors for my salary raise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could use that. I mean, it worked for me, I tell you that.
Question, Commissioner Flora. So in the salary commission, if they decide, let's say they give the directors countywide a 5% raise, does that just happen, or does the mayor have to sign off on it? Does it have to be approved by the county council and then the mayor? You right? So it could get,
This is Deputy Corp Counsel Andrew Nelson. I apologize. I can't answer that question off the top of my head. I do know that answer for Honolulu. It's in the charter, and I suspect that it's also in our charter as well. And I can answer that at our next meeting. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
But my guess, and I'll have to double check, would be that salary commission would set the salary. Of course, it's subject to the county council's discretion over the budget. And at least in Honolulu, I believe that, it's not relevant here anyways, but there may be an ability for the mayor or another person to overrule the commission's recommendation, but I'll check.
Yeah, that would be my understanding as well of the salary commission at this point. They sort of set the baseline, and then the council, as the money people, would have to basically look at the budget and see if the raises are commensurate with what's going on with the budget. The other thing is the salary commission was also created to take, quote unquote, the politics out of raising council salaries and the mayor's salary. So they're the ones that set the mayor's salary. So that, I guess they would still have to approve it or not at that point, correct? Or whether or not the raise happens, correct? Okay. But yeah, so that part of it was to take the politics out of, quote unquote,
so basically, since the salary was set to hire a new chief, it's never changed to this date, and that's been over 3 years, right?
Well, when we hired the chief, chair, vice chair. Okay. When we hired the chief, we just took the current salary at that particular point of what it would have been. Because we didn't know. We didn't know we had the ability to go into the salary commission to raise it. I'm not quite sure if he gets step. Do you guys get step raise?
No.
Nothing, right? So it's pretty much the same, yeah.
What cost
Since
of
we
living?
hired. No, nothing.
I think that's something that we really need to read in the letter, is that this has been an ongoing process for 3 years. It's not just what we're looking for forward. We need to really stress that these guys haven't been compensated at all the last 3 years. and the cost of living is gone sky.
Because my understanding, the salary commission has not approved any raises for anybody at this point, for the positions, right? Because they're always looking at the positions.
Mr. Richardson, I just got a question for
Counsel.
the deputy chief. Deputy chief, so with Shopo, you guys don't get any steps in, or the officers don't?
We just the chief and deputy chief doesn't get
Yeah.
any steps, any raises. We don't get warp, nothing. It's our salaries directly connected to the salary commission.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if it stopped anywhere, it stopped everywhere.
Gotcha.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, anybody else? Go ahead.
Just one, I'd like to confirm my understanding that the police chief's evaluation has no factor in their base pay or any type of raise they get.
Not really.
Not really.
It doesn't have any correlation to that.
No. Yeah, it's not a personal issue. It's a institutional issue. Yeah. Yeah. The salary commission sets director salaries, and I think the commensurate is that I think that the deputies get 10% less than whatever the director does. I think that's the algorithm, if you want to put it that way. So
Commissioner Kohara?
I'd like to make a motion that Commissioner DeRego put a letter together for the salary commission regarding the chief of police salary.
A second.
A motion made by Commissioner Kohara to assign Commissioner Dorrego to write a letter to the salary commission, highlighting our discussion today, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Moat,
and to be presented at the next meeting.
presented at our next meeting.
Yeah. And same for the other one. I hope this is the next meeting. Okay.
Okay. Excuse me, are we considering that invite you talked about?
Is that gonna be part of it?
Would you guys like it to be a part of that?
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Commissioner Richardson, I think we need to set a tone that we need to get a response somehow, whether it's through a letter that we sent already or an invite.
Mm-hmm.
And like Commissioner DeRego said, the whole intent is to gather the input from that salary commission chair or whoever it may be. How is this working? Because it is stopping us from moving forward. I mean, again, we're going in 2 years already. I think that's what the intent is.
Okay.
Okay, so Commissioner DeRego will present that letter at our next
Meeting. Okay. So we got to do the vote
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to do a vote. Commissioner, I will.
I have something. Go ahead. I understand he needs to present a draft and stuff, but I'm sorry, I work in the private industry where stuff doesn't take years to get done. And so our next agenda is going to be exactly the same that we've had for the last 4, 5, 6, 12 months. It's like, can't we ever get anything done? I mean, I'm serious. It just drags on and on and on. It's like, oh my God.
So
Can he send it out in an email and we all approve it or something so things can get taken care of
Can't
and
do that.
done? Because if we send it out, we invite the Dr. Parker, then we're talking November meeting is the draft, December meeting is maybe he'll show up. Now we're back into 2025 and we've been discussing this. Now it's going on 4 years, 3, whatever. It's like, this is it's too long.
Right. Due to the sunshine law, Deputy Corp Counsel Andrew Nelson, due to the sunshine law, the board wouldn't be able to, deliberate or vote outside of agendized posted meeting. But you could, specify in your motion that Commissioner DeBrego is assigned to draft the letter and authorized to transmit it on behalf of the commission. And then I think his level of comfort in doing that would be dictated by how specific everyone is and what is to be included in the letter. And it does seem like we have some agreement as to what we want to see or what you commissioners would like to see in the letter.
Vice Chair. So I'll agree with Deputy Corporation Counsel Nelson. I have sent letters before on the behest of the commission, and you guys have trusted me, and I've always appreciated that trust, by the way. I'm always humbled by it. So thank you for your trust on that. What I would ask, and maybe this is the way of not getting around anything, but maybe expediting what's going on, is if you have any suggestions of what should go in, make sure you send those to me. We don't have to vote on that. That's an administrative ask at this point. And then I will compose the letter. I will send you the draft. I won't ask for any deliberation on it. I'll just send it to you, right? And you'll know what goes out. I mean, you're going to have to trust me on this again. This is what happened with this letter, by the way. We did go through the points at the meeting, and I took all the points down. But when I drafted the letter, I just went ahead and sent it. Okay. And then after the fact, I shared it with the commission. So we have done that process before. If you guys are cool with that again, I will, and you guys can be mad at me afterwards. It's exactly what you wanted.
So I'd like to
But-
amend my motion that we allow Commissioner DeRego to transmit this letter and even the other letter.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay. All right. So amended motion is that Commissioner DeRego will draft a letter to the Salary Commission and submit it. Seconded by Commissioner Tenkayo. Take a vote. Commissioner Iwohi,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuhara,
Aye.
Commissioner Moat,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner Tenkayo.
Aye.
I also vote aye. Motion.
You didn't ask me my vote. I don't get a say in my own. Oh, it's okay. Aye.
We have 7 ayes, 1 excused. Motion carries.
Okay. Awesome.
This is Deputy Corp Counsel Andrew Nelson. I just wanted to point out that if you have any input for Commissioner DeRego, please email it to him directly and do not CC any of the other commissioners. That's just a sunshine law requirement. And
Yes.
then Commissioner DeRego can email any letter that is transmitted to our board secretary Tisha
And
and
this should be
share
distributed.
if you'd like. But Tisha can then post it to the meeting materials and also distribute it to the commissioners.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, moving on to item 8, anticipated executive session. The following agenda items may be reviewed in executive session pursuant to HRS 92-5A subsections 2 and 4. To consider the hire, evaluation, dismissal, or discipline of an officer or an employee, or of charges brought against the officer or employee, where consideration of matters affecting privacy will be involved, and to consult with the commission's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the commission's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities. The chair entertains a motion to move into executive session for the reasons stated previously.
I'll make the motion to move into executive session as stated.
Second that.
Motion to move into executive session made by Commissioner DeRego and seconded by Commissioner Richardson. Okay. Take a roll call vote. Commissioner Iwohi,
Yes.
Commissioner DeRego,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuhara,
Aye.
Commissioner Moat,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner Tenkayo.
Aye.
Vice Chair also votes aye. We have 7 ayes, 1 excused. Motion carries. Okay, we'll take a 10-minute break.
Yep. Good job.
The time is 11:26 a.m. on October 23rd, 2024. We are back in open session, and I call the meeting to order. We do a roll call. Commissioner Iwohi,
Here.
Commissioner Derego,
Here.
Commissioner Kohara,
Present.
Commissioner Moat,
Present.
Commissioner Richardson,
President,
Commissioner Tenkayo. Here. Vice Chair is also present. We have 7 members present, 1 excused, and Chair determines there's quorum to conduct this meeting. Would also like to acknowledge as present our Commission Secretary, Tisha Flores, and our Deputy Corporation Counsel, Andrew Nelson. Commissioners, we will proceed with further action as a result of the executive session. The Commission in the executive session reviewed complaint MPC 2403 alleging other. After reviewing the complaint, the Vice Chair has decided the complaint shall not be referred for investigation subject to the rules of the Police Commission 13-101-23B, which states no complaint shall be referred for investigation or process where the complaint on its face is speculative, hypothetical, or not based on factual circumstances. Without objection, the decision of the Vice Chair will stand. Hearing no objection, the decision stands. All right. Item 9, next meeting, our next regular meeting of the Police Commission is scheduled for November 20, 2024 at 10 a.m. All right. This concludes the business of today's meeting. Without objection, the Chair will adjourn the meeting. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned.
you guys.
Good job.
Okay.
Good job.
Right,
Good job.